Are you able to see the screen? Are you able to see the screen?
No, sir.
Yes,
Nahi?
sir. Yes, sir. I am able to
Okay,
see.
okay. So yesterday I gave you a brief introduction about indirect taxation, and I told you the importance of indirect taxation. I told you how indirect taxation has come into picture and how GST has come into picture. Okay, and today we will discuss more about some part of our definition and concepts related to indirect taxation and GST in particular. Okay, so look at this. Now, GST is levied on supply of goods and services. GST is levied on supply of goods and services. Okay, this is number one point, most important point. I am just recovering a part of the last day session. GST is levied on supply of goods and services. Okay, so for example, some Varsha has purchased one laptop. Varsha has purchased some laptop. Okay, now when she has purchased a laptop, it is a goods, and if this goods is subject to GST, means these goods attract GST, then GST is levied on it. And if, for example, this laptop is 15,000 rupees, 15 50,000 rupees, then she will have to pay, for example, 18% GST. So that is 9,000 rupees. So you have to, Varsha will pay to the seller 59,000 rupees. Now you can tell me, sir, if I don't pay GST, what will happen? Or what is the consequence? Okay. Now you purchase a new laptop. If you don't get an invoice containing GST, then supposing that after 1 month this particular laptop has gone wrong, there is a problem and you want to get it rectified, the seller tells that where is the bill? You don't have a bill, and it is not conclusive that you have bought from me, and you will lose all your money. But if it is GST is paid by you, then in that invoice which is supplied by the seller, the GST number is there and other details are there, and this is a conclusive proof of that you have paid it. You have paid this, and it is in warranty period. So that is the reason why you should go for GST payment. You should not evade. You should not evade or avoid GST payment. So GST is levied on the word supply of goods and services. On supply of goods and services. So the word is, there are three words which are very, very important: supply of goods and supply of services. So the event on which the event on which GST is levied. GST कब लेवी होता है? जब सप्लाई होता है. क्या सप्लाई होता है? गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज सप्लाई होता है, तो हम लोग उसके ऊपर जीएसटी लगाएंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, you go to a restaurant, and you consume some 500 rupees meal. So he is providing you a service. So he will charge some 2% or 3% GST. Okay, we will see the rates later. So you have to pay 500 plus 10 rupees, 510 rupees. So this is because he has supplied you a service. So we don't use the word sale. We don't use the word transfer. But we use, whenever there is a supply of goods and services, at that time, GST is levied. At that time, GST is levied. Please remember this. So our subject GST is revolved under and around three words: supply, goods, and services. Goods, I told you examples. Services also I told you some examples, and supply is the most important word. Supply is, there are so many words, there are so many synonyms of supply, but in GST terminology, GST Act, we don't find the word transfer or sale, but we use the word supply. So the tax incidence is on supply of goods and services. Now you can, another way of making you understand is, for example, Nitin Gate or Mandar is working in organization is working in an organization and they are drawing a salary of 5 lakh rupees. Drawing a salary of 5 lakh rupees. So it is an income here. For them, it is an income. And I told you, whenever there is an income, tax is levied. So the tax comes into picture when there is an income, and whenever there is an income, probably you have to pay tax. In the same way, whenever a person is supplying goods, whenever the person is supplying goods or services, then at that is the point at which GST is attracted, and probably if the goods are under GST Act and these goods are to be charged GST, then we have to charge and apply GST on that. Now let's understand the concept of supply. Already I told yesterday, but these are the most important points, because without understanding supply, you can't further go ahead. Now, broadly, we are going to talk about the definition of supply. Number 1, number 2, time of supply, number 3, place of supply, and number 4, value of supply. Because value is based upon which we are going to find out on how much we have to pay the tax. That is GST. For example, in the last example, laptop, the value of that laptop was 50,000 rupees. So how did you find this? How did you arrive at this? So we are going to dedicate a separate discussion on value, on place of supply, on time of supply, and place of the definition for supply. But here I will give you some basic understanding of each and every element, whether it is time of supply or place of supply or value of supply. Okay. So what is time of supply? What is time of supply? What is time of supply? What is place of supply? And what is value of supply? First, I will talk about this one, later this one, later this one, and then we are going to have a separate discussion for 2 hours on each aspect as we move into the next weeks. So value of supply. So in the last minute or 5, I told that our student has purchased a laptop, sir, for 50,000 rupees. So 50,000 rupees becomes the transaction value on which GST is levied. And for this, if I am understanding, and if I am okay, and it is found that laptop attracts 18% or 28% of GST, then the value is 50,000 rupees on the on which GST is levied. So how to find out this 50,000 rupees becomes very, very important, because there are some elements in the market, whether the buyer or seller, they deliberately wants to decrease the selling price to 40,000 or 30,000 and thereby reduce the tax liability of GST. And they want to generate black money. For that reason, we have a lengthy discussion on value of supply, how to arrive at the value of supply on various on conditions and various circumstances, in various circumstances. So this is about the brief idea about value of supply. Now, place of supply. Now this is very, very important, and I will give you some 2-3 minutes on understanding about place of supply. Okay. So there is a very 2 important transactions of sale: interstate supply of goods and services, and we have intrastate supply of goods and services. Intrastate supply of goods and services. Okay. Now this is very, very important. Interstate and intrastate. So now let's take a small example to understand interstate and intrastate. Okay. For example, when I'm talking about intrastate, intra means within. Intrastate means within. For example, Mr. Nitin is in Karnataka, in Bangalore, and he is purchasing some laptop from Mr. XYZ, Messrs. XYZ Limited Company, and which is in Hubli. Now, the seller is in Hubli, the buyer is in Bangalore. Both the seller and the buyer are in the same state, called as Karnataka. So this particular transaction is a case of intrastate supply. intra-state supply, because the buyer is in Hubli, sorry, the seller is in Hubli and the buyer is in Bangalore. So the exchange of goods is taking place between people of the same state, and the goods are being transported to Bangalore from Hubli. So here the transaction is called as intrastate supply of goods. Intrastate supply of goods. Now let's take a further understanding about this. Let's take further understanding about this. What does it mean? In this case, whenever there is a transaction between two people who are there in the same state, like the example I gave, Karnataka, then we conclude that that is a intrastate sale of goods. Sale of goods. Now the seller will give an invoice to the buyer. Now the invoice is like this. The invoice is like this, and here it is written who is the seller, who is the buyer, what is the seller's GST number, GST registration number, and here he will write that Mr. Nitin has purchased one laptop for 1 lakh rupees. Now please remember, this is a intrastate sale. Intrastate sale. This is an intrastate sale. This is a intrastate sale. So in case of an intrastate sale, please remember that 50% of GST goes to CGST and 50% goes to SGST. Now what do you mean by CGST? Central goods and service tax is CGST, and the full form of SGST is state goods and services tax. So on this 1 lakh rupees, tax is levied, and it is assumed that 18% is the tax on laptop. Now 9% will be for CGST, and another 9% will be towards SGST. So 9,000 rupees is CGST, and 9%, other 9% which is SGST is 9,000 rupees, because 50% to central and 50% to state, and they will be reimbursing. So here, as this is a intrastate sale, the tax is levied in this form, 50% GST and 50% SGST. How did you come to know that it is a intrastate? Because of the place of supply. Both the buyer and the seller are in the same state, and the goods are delivered from Hubli to Bangalore, and both of them are in the same state. And then this is because of that reason that the place of supply is in Karnataka. It is a intrastate sale, and 50% goes to CGST and 50% goes to SGST. Okay, so that's the reason why place of supply is very, very important. Place of supply is very, very important. Now another transaction. Let's take another transaction, which is interstate. Interstate means between two different states. Just an example I'm giving. Two different states. The buyer is in one state, the seller is in one state, and both of them are in different states, and the transaction is taking place like that. For example, Mr. X is there in Bangalore, and Mr. Nitin Ghate is in Nitin Ghate or Mandar is in Maharashtra or in Pune. Now Mandar gives an order to Bangalore person to supply a machine. So this guy will transport from Bangalore to Pune one machine costing some 2 lakh rupees. So please remember, we have to find out what type of transaction it is, whether it is a interstate or intrastate. Now, as the buyer is in Pune, which is Maharashtra, and the seller is in Bangalore, and the goods are transported from Bangalore to Pune, and the seller is in Karnataka and the buyer is in Pune, and these two bodies are in different states, then it is an example of interstate sale of goods. Interstate sale of goods. Okay. Now, previously it was intrastate, and now it is an example of interstate. How is it possible to find out? Because of the concept called as place of supply. The place of supply is from Bangalore to Pune. Two different states have come into picture. So that's the reason why place of supply is very, 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 very important. Number one. Number two, let's calculate how much tax to be paid on this machine supplied by the Bangalore person to a person in Karnataka. Let's calculate it. Now, assuming that this particular machine, the rate of GST, the total GST is 18%. Please remember, in interstate sale, we don't levy CGST or SGST, but in interstate sale, we levy according to GST Act a tax called as IGST. Now, what is IGST? Integrated Goods and Services Tax. So, in case of interstate sale, please remember the GST which is levied is neither CGST, neither SGST, it is IGST. Okay. Now, this is 28%. So 56,000 on 2 lakhs is 28%. So the buyer will be paying 2,56,000. That is IGST of 28% of the basic value of the goods. And this is the way the transaction goes on. So that's the reason this chapter also is very, very important, which is place of supply. Hope you have understood it. Now, next one is time of supply. Now, why time of supply is very, very important? Now, why the time of supply is very important? Because of the following reason. Let's understand the reason for it. Let's understand why time of supply is very, very important. Having understood what is value of supply and what is place of supply, let's understand what is time of supply. Now, supposing that a laptop September, the rate of GST is 18%, but the government has changed the GST rate in the month of October to 28%. Okay, because there is every possibility that the GST rates can be changed by the government depending upon the economic situation and the need of the hour. So in this particular case, which is time of supply, let's understand the importance of time of supply with the following example. Mr. X, who is in Pune paid rupees 2 lakhs to Mr. Y of Mumbai for procuring some material, like for example some laptop or refrigerator. Okay, so when did he gave this 2 lakh rupees on September 29, 2020. Now this person, Mr. Y, is supplying the goods to this guy on October 2nd. And after that, on October 5th, he is sending an invoice to Mr. Buyer. So there are 3 different dates. One is September 29, one is October 2nd, and one is October 5th. What is September 29? That is the date on which he has made the payment. What is October 2? The seller has transported the goods. What is October 5? October 5 is the date on which the bill is prepared for the invoice is prepared for the transaction of the goods. So when there are one transaction but 3 different dates, one is September 29th, one is October 2nd, one is October 5th, there is an element of confusion whether this is the date I have to take for the payment of GST or charging of GST, or this is the date or this is the date. That's, for example, you don't know the rule, neither I know the rule about the time of supply, and I calculate the GST based upon this. So on this date, the rate was 18%. But the rule says that no, it should have been calculated on this particular date. On this particular date, the rate of GST is 28%. So there is an element or a chance to commit a mistake. And that's the reason why we have a separate chapter on time of supply. Now, with the basic background about time of supply, place of supply, and value of supply, it's very, very important to understand what is supply, because GST is levied once goods are supplied by the seller to the buyer. So the incidence, the point where the tax comes into picture, GST comes into picture, is supply. So what is supply? Yesterday I gave the meaning of a definition of supply, but as I have to do some examples, I have taken again this particular concept for understanding. Now, what do you mean by supply? Supply is nothing but supply. It is all form of. It is all from. You have to remember this definition as it is. It is to be remembered by heart. Whatever you want, you can do it. You have to by heart it. You have to by heart it. Okay. Now let's understand it. Supply means it is all form of supply of goods and services. Supply of, for example, capital goods. Supply of electronic items. Supply of eatables. Supply of biscuits. Supply of fast-moving consumable goods. Supply of software. Supply of construction equipment. Supply of paint. Supply of medicines, etc., etc. So many services and so many goods are supplied by the buyer, by the seller to the buyer. Number one. These goods are agreed to be sold or he's selling. Now, for example, I will give you a small example. Yes, R.K. Mehta is there working in JSPM. Okay. He wanted a small almara where he wants to put all his clothes. So he went to a fabricator of almara. Now he went to his factory and told that he want a almara of this size and width and other specifications he has told. He told that, okay, if you want this kind of goods to be supplied by me to you, for preparing this, I will take 15 days. So what he has done, he has not supplied immediately. He has agreed to supply it in future, that is on 15th September. That is today. When did I went? I went some 20 days back. So it has been agreed to be supplied. Or today himself, when I went to his showroom, I found a big almara which is suitable to me. I put an order, immediately I purchased. So he has supplied me immediately, or in future he is going to supply. So that is the meaning of agreed or made to made or agreed to made to be made. Agreed or made or agreed to be made. That is the meaning of it. Hope you have understood this part. Next one. Now for consideration. Now what is consideration? Give and take. For example, you are my student and I am your teacher. So you are my student and I am your teacher. My mother, to my mother, I am her son, and to her, I am his son. Okay. So for example, there is a buyer, and for there is a seller. So for seller, he is a buyer. For buyer, he is a seller. Now, what is the element of interest in between them? There is something called as consideration. There is something called as consideration. Now, for example, in this case, for example, Priyanka Palade is there. Now, Priyanka Palade has got a big house, and Ramesh Mehta is there and is looking for a house for rent. He approaches her and tells that he wants a house for rent. Now, Priyanka says that, okay, I will give it on rent for a monthly rental of 15,000 rupees per month. So I will utilize this. So that is what the utility I got. And for this, she will get 15,000 rupees. So 15,000 rupees is what she is getting, and I am getting the house for 1 month. So that is called as consideration. So in case of supply also, whenever I am talking about supply, there should be an element of consideration. There should be an element of consideration. There should be an element of consideration. Now let's look at a small example here. In this example, let's find out what is the consideration. For example, Varsha Hukke is there. Okay, Varsha Hukke goes to Vijay Sales and purchases a laptop for 75,000 rupees. So Varsha Hukke pays 75,000 rupees to Vijaya Sales, and Vijaya Sales will give the laptop to Varsha Hukke in return for 75,000 rupees. So there is a consideration of 75,000 rupees for a laptop, or a laptop for 75,000 rupees. That is what is the meaning of the word consideration. By a person. Now another element is by a person. In this case, just now what we have seen, there is a Varsha Hukke and Vijaya Sales. Now Vijaya Sales is maybe it's a proprietary concern or a firm or a private limited company. So the definition of person is an individual, a Hindu undivided family, association of people, association of persons, a private limited company, a public limited company, of a foreign company. So this is a person, and this is also a person because Varsha Uke is a girl. So there is a transaction which is taking place between a company which is a person and a lady who is a person. So supply means supply of goods, supply of services which are made or agreed to be made for money or money worth by or in between two persons. And in the further course of business, now Vijay Sales is bothered about its business. That's the reason why it is selling it to Varsha Hukke. For example, raw material it is purchasing and it is converting to finished goods and selling it to the consumer. So why it is done? Because they want to do business in the course of furtherance of business. So hope you have understood the basic definition of supply. So these 5 elements should be there: supply of goods, supply of services to be agreed to be made or already I am making it, and for money or money worth by between two persons, and or it can be more than two persons. In case of agent there can be more 3 agents, something like that, or one person, one buyer, one seller and an agent, and this is done to extend their business. Next one. So already I spoke about this, but I will give you a brief understanding. So the supply is of 4 forms. So I will just ignore this one and take the rest of the 3 parts. Very important. Vesting of ownership without use of money and allow for limited period of time. Let's understand it. So the supply takes in various forms. The supply of goods and services where takes place in various forms. For example, laptop. Again, let's take an example of Hero Honda. Hero Honda is selling 2-wheelers to its dealers. Okay, means it is manufacturing goods and selling the goods. It is manufacturing the goods, that is 2-wheeler, and selling the goods to the dealer. So what is happening? The ownership from Hero Honda is going into the hands of the dealer as far as these 2-wheelers is concerned. So there is a sale transaction which is taking place. The ownership is changing and there is a transfer of these goods from this person to this person. For example, you might have heard about building, real estate. The building is in the name of the builder, and subsequently when you are purchasing the whole building, the goods or the building is transferred and the ownership is transferred in the name of the buyer. So there is also a supply of goods and services. So that's the example I am trying to give. Another example. So next case. Now the second form of supply of goods and services. The supply of goods and services takes place in the second form, which is barter or exchange. Barter or exchange. Barter and exchange got the same meaning. Barter was previously used when there was no currency or coins. So exchange of rice with wheat was the example. Exchange offer. I will give you a small example. Yesterday also I gave. My laptop is old, has become old. Laptop has become old and I want to purchase a new one. But it's a very costly 75,000 rupees. But there is an offer. What is that offer? Exchange your old laptop, old with new. Means what? You give old to the dealer or the shopkeeper and he will give you the new. And not only you have to, so this is also a transaction of a supply of goods. But here what is happening? You are giving this particular laptop is some 50,000 rupees. But as you are exchanging the old laptop with the new laptop, you have to pay only 20,000 rupees, for example. So you don't know whether the GST should be levied here on these 50,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees. But what has happened? There is an exchange of goods. So whenever there is an exchange of goods without use of money, for example, I told you a laptop I got a laptop and I gave him 5 grams of gold. Example, 5 grams of gold. So there is no supply of money. There is no consideration. But still, laptop is supplied and I am supplying gold. So this is also a form of supply. Next one is license, rental, and lease. Let's take an example of rental. For example, Infosys is there. Infosys is there, and X person is there. X is there. X is there. Okay. Now X is giving his machine to machine or some computers to Infosys for use for 6 months. For 6 months, and after using these 6 months, Infosys is going to give back all the computers back to X, and X is charging for this rent. So there is a allowing using of a particular goods or particular goods for a limited period of time also forms as a supply. So this is the basic understanding of the various forms of supply. Now let's take the example, because in your examination you can be expected some examples, and you have to find out whether it is a supply or not, whether it is a supply of goods or not, whether it is a supply of service or not. Now let's take the small example. First example. There are some 8 examples if I am correct, and then we will be going to find out whether it is a supply or not from the given understanding about these two definitions. These two are very, very important. These two. Okay. So definition and then various forms of supply. With this understanding, we have to find out whether there is a supply of goods and services or not, because supply is the incidence or the point at which we consider now it's time for us to levy GST, and we are talking about GST and GST. Now A sells goods to B. The property in the goods has been transferred from A to B. Decide on whether it is a supply and whether it is a supply of goods and services. Okay. So A has sold goods. For example, laptop is sold by A to B, and the property in the goods has been transferred from A to B. Means previously A was the owner. Now B is becoming the owner. Now find out whether it is a supply of goods or service, or first and foremost to tell you whether it is a supply or not. Okay. So let's go to it. Let's understand it. So here, what is the definition? The definition is there should be 2%. Okay, there is 2%. Yes, there are 2%. And A is selling to B, and there is a transfer of ownership. So yes, maybe there is a consideration, and there is a supply of goods from A to B, and it is made already. The goods are being sold, and there is a transfer. Now there is a transfer from A to B. The goods are being transferred from A to B. So whenever there is a transfer, vesting of ownership, yes, this is a case of supply of goods. Number two example. A enters in an agreement with B on 15th January 2018 to effect a sale of 1,000 dozens of mangoes on 15th March 2018 at rupees 800 per dozen. So please remember, I told you that it's not necessary that it should be supplied on the spot. It can be here. If I am highlighting C, it is agreed to be made. The supply is agreed to be made in the future. In the future, I am going to sell the goods, because right now I am not having those goods. But now there is an agreement between the two entities, the buyer and the seller. Buyer and the seller, there is an agreement to provide the goods to buyer in the future. Okay. So here also it is a transfer of. Now look at this. फ्यूचर में देने वाले है, पैसा भी है, पर्सन्स भी है, और goods भी है. Mangoes are the goods, and on the day when the goods are supplied, there is a transfer of ownership from, and there is a money also here. Money also here. So all the conditions are applied. So it is a supply, and it is a supply of goods and services. Next one. A has provided goods to be on rent. Okay, now he has not supplied it on sale basis, but he has supplied it on rental basis. For example, जनरेटर सेट मैरिज हो रहा है, घर में मैरिज हो रहा है और जनरेटर चाहिए, छोटा सा 4-5 जनरेटर लेके आए और लगा दिया है, करंट जाएगा बोल के. So from whom you have got the generator, you have to pay the rent. There is no transfer of the ownership from the person was supplied to you, the ownership still remains with the owner only. Only you are going to use it for a certain period of time on a rental purpose. You are going to use it. So I told you that whenever there is a rental purpose. Look, I am highlighting this rental. Whenever you are paying on rental purpose, or the goods are bought for a rental purpose, there is a allowing of use of goods for a limited period of time. Then also it is a form of supply of goods. So in this case, the goods are being supplied for use on rental purpose. For rental purpose. This is the, yes, it is a supply, and it is a supply of goods because the goods are being supplied. Next one. So let's take another example. Okay, hope this you can go through these cases, and I will give you the next topic for the day. Now, I gave some 3-4 examples. Now let's carry forward our next discussion. Now certain transactions are there, but we don't consider them as transactions, that they are not supply of goods or services. They are not supply of goods or services. They are not supply of goods and services, and on this GST can't be levied. No GST on the above examples, above 6 examples, 6 circumstances or conditions. In these 6 conditions, please remember, they are not liable to GST because they are not supply of goods or services. Activities or transactions which shall be treated neither as goods, supply of goods, neither as supply of services. For example, service by an owner, service by a court or a terminal. For example, court is there. You go to the court and you put a petition, you're getting service. No. Whenever the court comes into picture, the service is given by court, but this doesn't come under the gambit of GST. So court services are not liable for GST, number 1. Number 2, employer and employee. For example, Nitin Gate is working in a company, or Mandar is working in a company. So Mandar is rendering services to the company, and company is paying salary to him. So whenever a company is paying salary to him, Mandar is having income, and that is liable to be taxed under Income Tax Act. Not that this particular transaction will come under GST. So if services are provided by the employee to an employer, it doesn't come under the definition of supply of goods and services under GST. So no GST. Next one, functions performed by member of parliament or member of legislative assembly or politicians. So these also are not supply of goods or services, and hence no GST. Next one is services of funeral. कोई मर गया, दफना रहे या burial कर रहे, cremation कर रहे, mortuary कर रहे, that is not a service, supply of goods or service. And sale of land and building also will not come into picture. Now next one is actionable claims other than lottery, betting and gambling. Actionable claim means DD, cash. They are also not supply of goods and services. Correct है ना? जैसे कि member of parliament है, वो चुनाव जीत के parliament में जा रहा है. So is he giving a service? No. So his service, he will not tell that I am giving you a service and I am supplying. There is a supply of service to the government of India, and he is going to levy GST. No, there is no question of it. So in the same way, कोई मर गया, उसको दफना रहे, तो वो सर्विस दे रहा है, that is also wrong. Next one is court is giving a service. No, that he is not giving a service. Court is not giving a service. Or employee is working and the employer is enjoying his service. No, there is a employee-employer relationship in which tax in the form of income from salary is there. So it will not come here. In the same way, I have to see whether there is an amendment or not. Actionable claims also are not supply of goods or services, but lottery provided is a goods. For example, Mr. X has purchased a lottery of 10,000 rupees from an lottery agency. So the lottery agency is selling a lottery ticket to Mr. X. So for example, 28% GST. Now, very important. Look at this. Very, very, very important. Already, I gave a basic understanding about GST, SGST, CGST, and IGST. Very important. Please keep in mind. These are very, very important. I told you when central GST will be levied, when state GST will be levied, and when integrated GST will be levied. These are levied in case of intra-state sale. Intra-state sale of goods and services. You have to write fully goods and services. 50% to CGST and 50% to SGST. 50% of the collection goes to central government and 50% of the collection of GST will go to the state government. Now this is integrated, means it is a transaction of interstate. Interstate means between two different states. That is interstate sale of goods and services. Goods and services. Whenever there is an interstate sale of goods and services, then the invoice will be showing you IGST, not CGST. For example, I will tell you one example, and with that you will able to understand what this is all about. Okay. For example, I remember that when once I went to Kundan Motors, and the Kundan Motors is a dealer of Hyundai showroom. Is a Hyundai showroom dealer, and I wanted to get my car serviced. So he told that to get the car serviced, it will take 10,000 rupees. Plus, if some parts are there and they are worn out and they have become have damaged inside, then we have to replace it, and there will be a replacing cost, because the cost of the material will be taken into account. The cost of material. Okay. So what happened? A subsequent day, I went and got the car. He told that, sir, service charges are 10,000 rupees, and I have replaced some parts, and the value of those parts were 20,000 rupees. So total I have to pay 30,000 rupees. Now this person is in Pune, and I am also in Pune, because I am taking the delivery at Pune. So this is a case of intrastate. Intra means within the state, supply of goods and supply of services, and this service attracts 8%, and these goods attract 18%. So on this 800 rupees is charged, and on this 3600 is charged. Out of this 50% SGST, 50% CGST. On this 800 rupees of service, 400 goes to CGST and 400 goes to SGST. Hope you have understood it. This is very, very important. Now next one. Now let's understand in comprehension in detail about all these three. What is the intricacies and other things which are involved in this particular three models of GST, SGST, CGST, and IGST. So this you can combine. Okay. This is levied by the central government. This is levied by the state government, and this is levied in case of interstate. Next one. Now, what is interstate trade or commerce? As I already told, tax levied under the IGST Act on the supply of goods and services in the course of interstate or commerce. For example, interstate means within the two different states, Maharashtra and Haryana, there is a transaction of supply of goods is taking place. So IGST comes into picture. Now I have given a small example of intrastate supply and interstate supply. You can pay attention here. So here it is a interstate supply. Here it is the first case is interstate supply, and the second case is interstate supply. Let's understand. The supplier means the seller is in Pune, the buyer is in Nagpur, and this guy is selling these goods, and these goods are reaching Nagpur. And one is in Maharashtra, the other one also is in Maharashtra. The seller is in Maharashtra, the buyer is in Maharashtra. So it is a case of intrastate supply. So 50% of tax is in the form of CGST, 50% of the tax is in the form of SGST. Now let's look at this example. The buyer is in Patna, which is in Bihar state, and the seller is in Pune, which is from where he is supplying the goods. and the goods are transported to Pune, and the goods are starting here and traveling over this place here, and reaching Patna. So from one state to another state, it is taking place. The different states are there into picture, and the location is of the supplier is in Pune, and the place at which the goods are supplied is in Patna. So two different states are there in the picture. So it is a case of interstate supply, and only one tax is levied, IGST, which is 100%. Here it is 50%, 50%. It is 100%. So here you can again which tax to pay on what transaction. So in case of interstate supply, as I already told, CGST and SGST 50% and 50%. In case of interstate supply, it is IGST, which is 100%. And please remember, import export special economic zone is deemed to be considered as a supply. Okay, we'll see about this in the later stage of our discussion. Okay, hope you understood it. I will ignore this one because there are new elements, create of IGST and all that stuff. We will see this. Now, as I already told in the last class, GST will be applied or applicable on the supply of goods and services. It is a dual concept, which is in which central government and state government comes into picture. Already I told the benefit of this GST previously used to go to the state which is from where the goods are originated. But in this GST is levied, and who is enjoying it is a destination based consumption of tax. Already I told about this in the last class, and the GST is to be levied by the central government is called as CGST, and the state is going to be levying one tax called as SGST. The goods, the GST would be applied to all goods. This is very important. GST is levied on every goods on the earth in India, whether it is biscuits, chocolates, or steel, or computer, or laptops, or mobiles, or TVs, refrigerator. All the goods are subjected and they are coming under the GST, and we are going to levy GST on this. But only a few of the goods are not coming under GST, and we can't charge GST on that. And if you remember, alcoholic liquor for human consumption, दारू के ऊपर GST नहीं लगता है. क्या लगता है? एक्साइज ड्यूटी लगता है. Excise duty लगता है. Okay, this is number one. Number two, petroleum. Like for example, diesel, petrol, no GST, only excise duty and sales tax. So please remember, these are some of the commodities or goods on which GST is not levied. GST is also applied on services. Okay, so now this is very important. Question can be expected in the examination. Who is GST? What are the constituents of GST Council? So one is finance minister and state finance ministers and other people will come. They will discuss on GST rules and regulations and rates, and they will finalize. So we are going to talk about GST Council also. Exemption limit would be common for central and state. For example, some goods are exempted from tax. For example, rice. Rice is not levied, is not subjected to GST. GST can't be levied, for example. So this is common for central as well as state. So many taxes are subsumed. Means, for example, I told in the last class, excise duty, number one. Number two is VAT, that is sales tax, service tax, and octroi, entertainment tax, and customs is not there. All they are combined together and forming one called as GST. So already we have discussed. You can view my YouTube on uploaded on YouTube. Sorry. Now, commonly there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rates of GST. 5 rates of GST. For example, 0% rate of taxation, GST rate, 5% of GST rate, 12% of GST rate, 18% of GST rate, and 28% of GST rate. Okay. So all the products can be divided into 5 based upon the rate of GST. So one is 0%. I'm not sure whether this is there or not right now, but 0 is there, 5 is there, 12% rate of GST is there, 18% rate of GST is there, and 28% rate of GST is there. So 0% on essential items. Now we have to find out by Googling, by exploring Google, what are the items on which 0% rate of tax GST is levied. So this is number one. Number two is 5% rate of GST on items of mass consumption. Mass consumption can be chocolates or biscuits, so on and so forth, or medicines. They are consumed in mass. So those goods which are consumed or manufactured in mass, something like that, they are subjected to 5% rate of taxation, and some are subjected to 5%, 12%, some are subjected to 18%, and last but not the least, luxury goods, like for example big cars or mobiles. These are all luxury goods, and these goods will attract 28% rate of GST. For example, you purchased 1 lakh worth of laptop or laptop or mobile, so you are going to be charged. If it is a luxury goods, it is categorized as luxury goods, you will have to pay 28%, which is 28,000 rupees. Probably if it is a intrastate, 14,000 will go to CGST, and 14%, another 14% or 14,000 rupees will go to SGST. Okay, so again I have put forth all this. Nil rate of taxation or exempted supplies, zero rated supplies for exports and supplies to special economic zones. If you are manufacturing some goods and supplying it to special economic zones or which are meant for exports, then they will fall under the zero rated supplies. 5% already I told, 12%, 18%, and 28% of GST. Next one. So which are the ones which okay, now this is also very important. I told you alcohol for human consumption is not liable for GST. 5 petroleum products, that is crude oil, diesel, petrol, natural gas, and aviation turbine fuel, is also not liable for GST. No. Tobacco, still excise duty is there. A part of tobacco supplied will be charged with GST, and the other part excise duty will be levied. So 2 taxes on tobacco. Tobacco बोले तो सिगरेट, तंबाकू, उसके ऊपर दोनों लगते हैं, दोनों लगना चाहिए. क्यों बोले तो अगर दोनों लगाएंगे तो कॉस्टली हो जाएगा और कोई भी उसको खरीदेगा नहीं, और गवर्नमेंट को बहुत सारा कैश टैक्स कलेक्ट होगा. सो 2 taxes are levied. One is GST and one is excise duty. Excise duty only on few, on this, and on this tobacco. Entertainment tax, it is empowered by the state government to levy. Okay. Now, who are the members of GST council? ये जो 8%, 2%, 0% कौन लगाता है, किसको exemption मिलना चाहिए, rules and regulations क्या है, कौन, who are the people who decide, who will meet, who will converge on a particular place, on a particular date, they will converge, sit together and decide the different thinking on GST. So you can be asked a question, who are the people who constitute GST council, who will sit together and decide the rules and regulations and other aspects of GST. The first person is the chairman. Who is the chairman? Or finance minister. Who is our finance minister? Nirmala Sitharaman. So she is the chairman, Nirmala Sitharaman. Okay, this is number 1. Number 2 is vice chairman. Now vice chairperson. Who are this vice chairperson? To be chosen amongst the ministers of the central government, state government. There are state governments. There are so many states, and from them, a finance minister of the state will be elected, and they will also form members of the GST council. Number 2. Number 3, members, Ministry of State for Finance and all ministers of finance and taxation of each state will also form the members of the GST council. Now, how many members are required to form the meeting? There should be at least 50% members to form the meeting quorum. Okay. So these are all company laws. We will not go, but we have to understand it. So what is the weightage? The total weightage of these members is, the state will have 2/3 percentage of members, 2/3 of the total, and states will, central will have 1/3 weightage. decision will be taken by majority of 75% on a particular matter. The council will take decisions and recommendations on everything related to GST, including laws, rules and rates. ये rates जो है, rules है, regulations है, जो भी है कौन लेगा? GST council लेगा. Now, already we have seen this one in the last class. So I will skip this one also. So already this has been covered, central GST and state GST and integrated GST. Now very, very important is composite supply and mixed supply of goods and services. So composite supply and mixed supply of goods and services. This is very, 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 very important. You can expect a question in your examination. So please pay attention. Composite and mixed. Don't worry, I am going to upload all the videos. I am loading all these, recording all these videos and uploading on YouTube. Don't worry, be happy. You can visit my YouTube channel. I will share with you the YouTube channel name and you can subscribe and visit. Yesterday's class already been uploaded. Now let's talk about, there are two things. One is composite supply and one is mixed supply. Okay, before I talk about mixed supply and composite supply, I will give you one example and then we will understand the definition and other aspects of composite supply and mixed supply. For example, and today we are in the month of September and now October or November there is Diwali. Diwali, din din Diwali, पटाखे फोड़ेंगे, कोरोना को भगाएंगे. तो दिवाली के टाइम में क्या होता है, बिग बाजार या स्टार बाजार, डीमार्ट में जाओगे ना तो एक ऐसा दिखेगा, उसमें आके this is a bundle we call it and it has dairy milk, sweets, combo pack we call it, combo pack. We have cashew nuts and badam. How many items are there? 4 items. One is sweets, one is cashew nuts, one is badam and other aspect. और इसको बंडल करके कॉम्बो पैक पर करके वो फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज डेयरी मिल्क, आई फॉरगॉट इट, वो 2000 रुपए में देता है. नाउ दिस पर्टिकुलर आइटम is not an item of single element or single item. It has 4 items. One is dairy milk, one is sweet, one is cashew nuts, one is badam and many other things. So it is a package of 6 or 8 different goods forming a particular good combo pack. Now there is no rate for this combo pack as decided by the GST council. Now what should I charge? What is the seller going to charge? What is the GST rate he is going to charge? So it is a bit difficult to remember or understand, or it is a confusing state. Okay, another example I will give you. This again I will clarify. For example, our college has gone into a trip to Bangalore. Now to go to Bangalore, visit the industry, then go to different places in Bangalore and come back to Pune. There's so many different activities are there. What are those activities? One is train booking. Number 2 is when we are going to Bangalore for visit to place of recreation, there should be a bus or cab. And when we are landing in Bangalore, we have to have a lodge and other things. So one, train booking, bus facility, cab facility, lodge facility, boarding facility, and maybe another 2. So these are forming a combo pack. So train booking is done by the agent, bus booking is done by the agent, cab booking is done by the agent. Only one person is there, but he's telling that for this I will going to charge per person 3,000 or 4,000 rupees, etc., etc. So now this is a service provided by this person, and the services are 7: train booking, bus booking, cab booking, lodging, boarding, and other things. And all these elements have different rates of tax. GST rates are different. So on this 3,000, the service provided, as it is a supply of service, he will charge. Now he's confused, like how much I have to charge. So that is the reason why we have two different types of supplies. One is composite supply and one is mixed supply. One is composite supply and one is mixed supply. Okay, let's understand one by one. You are going to have a question on composite supply and mixed supply. Let's understand and how to tax. What is the rate of tax to be adopted? Let's understand about composite supply of goods and services. Now, this particular supply is made by taxable person to a recipient. Number one means one person is supplying to another person. So one is the recipient, one is the seller, consisting of two or more taxable suppliers of goods and services or both. So I told you combo pack having 6 or 7 different items: sweets, biscuits, badam, kaju, kismis, and snacks, and dairy milk, and etc. etc. Jumps packet. All these are formed into one jumbo pack. Tax supplies of goods and services are both 2 or more. 2 or more. Here we have got 7. And they are combined together. They are combined to form a jumbo pack. And we give this present to a loved one or a dear one. Mandar knows very well, dear and near. So he might have given, and now he's purchasing it from a particular outlet or a retail or showroom or big bazaar. This time also he wants to give to his love dear and near this amount of this particular combo pack or jumbo pack. Now he goes and purchases it. He is telling that the seller is telling that 7,000 rupees you have to pay. Okay, he tells. Now charge me. What is the rate of GST? So here, whenever there is a this is called as a naturally bundled. Naturally bundled. बोले तो इसको अलग 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 बेच नहीं सकते. They are forming a naturally bundled group of individual items forming a jumbo pack. They can't be separated. They have to be given in combination. Naturally bundled. They are supplied in conjunction with each other. They are supplied in conjunction. बोले तो इसके साथ बिस्किट भी चाहिए, चॉकलेट भी चाहिए, डायरी मिल्क भी चाहिए, 5 स्टार भी चाहिए, स्वीट्स भी चाहिए, कैश्यू नट्स भी चाहिए, अलग अलग नहीं चाहिए. They are supplied in conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of supply and out of all supplies, which is the principal supply, that is called and one which is principal supply. So in this we have to identify which is the principal supply. In this we have to find out the principal supply. So principal supply means predominant element of composite supply for which other supplies forming a part of a composite supply are ancillary. For example, in this case, I will give you another example. In this you will understand it. So in this case, probably the principal element or supply is sweet. All these particular goods which I have mentioned just now, the element or the main item is sweet, and the sweet rate is sweet tax rate is 28%. So 28%, and for example, dairy milk is 8%, 5 star is 5%, cashew nuts is 18%, badam is 12%. Now, as this item is, we have identified that the main item in this one is the principal item, and the principal supply is sweet. So the rate of taxation is not this, neither this, neither this. We have to find out which is the principal item, and we found out the principal item is sweet, and the sweet rate of GST is 28%. Okay, so this becomes a GST rate based upon which we are going to tax. And for example, this jumbo pack is purchased by Nitin Gate or Varsha Huke or Priyanka Palade at some 3,000 rupees. Now, you are not going to charge 5% or 8% or 12%, but the principal item is sweet, which is identified by the GST Act, and you are going to be charged some 28% tax because the principal item in this, the principal supply is sweet, and the sweet is charged to 28%. So you have to pay on this 3,000 rupees 28%, which is 840. So the total amount you have to pay is 3,840. This is called as a composite supply. In composite supply, the rate of tax, the GST rate is based upon the GST rate of the principal supply, number one. This word is very, very important. They are naturally bundled, number two, and there are two or more, no more taxable supply of goods, and they are supplied in conjunction. They can't be separated and supplied. So how many words are important? One is composite supply, two or more taxable supply of goods or services. For example, I told you about an industrial visit to Bangalore. So many individual transactions like booking of train, booking of bus, booking of cab, lodging, boarding, and industrial visit, and broker is upon. So many things are coming into picture. So they are naturally bundled and they are conjunction with each other. बोले तो ये साथ में जाते हैं, अलग अलग हम लोग नहीं बेचते हैं. So in this case, whatever is the principal supply, you have to find out, and whatever is the rate of that principal supply, that is charged on the final item, on the value of the goods. So composite supply, we will complete composite supply and then we will end the class. Composite supply, conditions for composite supply. Any supply of goods and services will be treated as composite supply if it satisfies the following two conditions. Following conditions. When will we call it as a composite supply? When the following conditions are applied, are there, are satisfied, then we tell it that this is a case of a composite supply. Number one, when supply of two or more taxable supplies of goods and services. For example, I told you sweet, or dairy milk, or 5-star, badam, pista, अंजीर, etc. etc. It is naturally bundled. बोले तो ये साथ में ही देना है, अलग अलग नहीं दे सकते. It is naturally bundled. That is, goods or services are usually provided together in the normal course of business. They cannot be separated. And one of them is a principal supply. In this case, वो बोलते हैं ना दिवाली के दिन स्वीट लेके आओ, तो sweet is the main item. So, and the main supply is found out, and the main supply rate, whatever is the rate, that is put to that is taken into consideration for levying the GST. So, as per the section 8 of CGST Act, a composite supply comprising two or more, one of which is a principal supply, shall be treated as the main supply. According to that, the tax rate applicable for the goods is the principal supply rate. जो भी principal supply का rate है, वो tax का rate लगाया जाएगा in case of composite supply. So with this, I will end the class, and tomorrow I will give you the time at which you have to join. Now just pay 2 minutes. If you have any doubts, you can